Today we will study what makes India a federal country. The topic, what makes India a federal country. We have earlier seen how small countries like Belgium and Sri Lanka face so many problems in managing diversity. There are many diversities in Belgium and Sri Lanka, but how do they manage their problems? They are very smaller countries. Okay. And what about a vast country like India? India is a very large country with so many languages, religions and regions. How we are able to settle the disputes or problems in our country? What are the power sharing arrangements in our country? How we are able to settle all these problems that we are discussing here. Let's begin with the constitution. India had emerged as an independent nation after a painful and bloody partition. When India was partitioned, a lot of bloodshed occurred. Okay. So after partition, India was divided into or partitioned into India and Pakistan. Then after the partition, after getting independence, we prepared our constitution. Soon after independence, several princely states became part of the country. We know that many small kingdoms existed in our country during the colonial period, also ruled by the smaller kings. So these all princely states joined with the Indian Federation or Indian democracy. So the constitution declared India as a union of states. Because of these princely states all were joined together, and our constitution declared India as a union of states. Although it did not use the word federation, that time when the constitution was prepared, that time or the beginning time, India did not follow much federal policies. The Indian Union is based on the principles of federalism. Even though the word federalism was not used, but we followed federal policies, the features of federalism. Let's go back to the 7 features of federalism mentioned above. We can see all these features apply to the provisions of the Indian Constitution. Based on the Indian Constitution, our government or the federalism functions. The Constitution originally provided for a 2-tier system of government. Mainly there are 2-tier system of government, 2 levels of the government. The union government or what we call as the central government. The union government or the central government in the center and representing the Union of India. And the state governments are the 2nd tier, mainly union government or the central government and the state governments. These are the 2-tier system we have. Later the 3rd tier federation was added in the form of panchayats and municipalities. So that later, first of all we had a central government, state governments. So these were the 2-tier systems we followed. Later another one is panchayati raj system was also introduced. So we have a 3-tier system of government. Okay. So as any federation, these different tiers enjoy separate jurisdiction. All these 3 tiers of government has their own power. As in any federation, we know that these are all 3 tiers have independent powers. The Constitution clearly provides a 3-fold distribution of legislative powers between the union government and the state governments. So there are 3 lists of government in our country. So the function, we know that the elections to these 3 tiers are differently. Local body elections we conduct for the panchayats or municipalities. Another one is state government. For the state Vidhan Sabha we have elections, and for the central government, for the entire functioning of the country we have the Lok Sabha elections. So 3 different levels of government we have. Now all these have different powers also to enact laws. Let us see here, there are the 3 lists of governments. There are 3 lists. So union list, the power of all these governments or three levels of the government has three different lists. Okay, so in the union list, that means in the central government, what are the rights of the central government or the union government, which we call as union list. Union list includes the subjects of national importance such as defense of the country, foreign affairs, banking, communications and currency, to make the currency, and what are the issues related with the currency and communication facilities, banking or foreign affairs, dealing with the foreign countries, and defense, protecting the country. All these come under union list. State governments or other local body governments do not have any role in it. So related with all these subjects, union government or the central government takes decisions. So state governments does not have any right on this. They are included in this list because we need a uniform policy on these matters throughout the country. All these currencies cannot be different in each state, or defense of the country, the whole country is important. The state government and so the regional governments do not have the right to interfere in this matter. So whole country should have a uniform style or uniform policy, so that these are coming under union list and only the right of the central government. Union government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in the union list. State governments cannot interfere. Now coming to the second one is the state list. What are the functions or what are the rights of the state government? In the state list contains subjects of state and local importance such as the police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. So these, based on these things, like the trade in the state or between the states, and commerce or businesses, agriculture and irrigation, these all arrangements state governments have to do. These all come under the state list only. Central government does not interfere in these matters. The state governments alone can make laws relating to these subjects in the state list. What are the subjects given in the state list? About the police, also police department also come under the state government only. Now coming to the third list is the concurrent list. What is concurrent list? Which includes the subject of common interest for both the union government and state governments, as well as such as education, forest, trade, unions, marriage, adoption and succession. These are all coming under the concurrent list. For example, we can say the education. So there is a state policy and a central government policy also, union government policy and even the state government policy. Every state has their own state board schools also. So related with the state, they can function according to that. Concurrent list includes different subjects. Okay, so here both the union as well as the state government can make laws on the subjects. Union government can concurrent list all the subjects, even the union government, and state government also can make laws related to these subjects. If their laws conflict with each other, the law made by the union government will prevail. There is one point that if there are any conflict between the state governments and union governments related with the concurrent list, and if there is any conflict, what is the law enacted by the central government will prevail, will have to be followed by the state government also.